Put a question, seconded by Okwiri, seconded by our Silas, by government chief whip, by Silas, by Sanon, by Nekesa, by Samuel, by Segumire, by Ogwang, by the minute. Honorable members, physically we have 62 members, we have virtually 112. Honorable members, I put a question that the rule, I put a question that this House authorizes the government to borrow up to euros 270 million from Afrexim Bank and up to 230 million from Eco Bank and the Development Bank of South Africa Limited to finance the government of Uganda budget for financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. Guys have it.
Item 5 on the order.
That this House authorizes the government to borrow up to euros 270 million from Afrexim Bank and up to 230 million from Eco Bank and the Development Bank of South Africa Limited to finance the government of Uganda budget for financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. Guys have it.
Item 5 on the order as amended, and the old rule 155 and the new rule 162 part 1 of the Parliamentary Rules of Procedure, I beg to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to approve the proposal by government to borrow euro 270 million from the African Export-Import Bank and up to euro 230 million from EcoBank Uganda Limited and the Development Bank of Southern Africa Limited to finance the government of Uganda's budget for financial year 24-25.
Is the motion seconded? Seconded by Governor Yeko Medi, Insegumire Medi, Baka.
Parliament appropriated the total budget for the financial year 24-25 amounting to shillings 72.137 trillion for implementing of government activities, out of which shilling 34.318 trillion was appropriated and shilling 37.817 trillion was approved for statutory expenditure. The total appropriated budget support financing was shillings 1,393.66 billion.
Honorable Minister, the appropriation was done on 17th May 2025.
Yeah, I beg it. My ministry has now concluded negotiations for the euro 500 million, approximately shillings 1,982.65 billion to finance these approved expenditures from external sources. This is comprised of a loan of up to euro 270 million from African Export-Import Bank, as I've said before, to finance the budget as appropriated, and up to euro 230 million from EcoBank Uganda Limited and Development Bank of South Africa. The two loans were also approved by Cabinet on the 26th of May this year. The two loans were approved by His Excellency the President on 20th May 2025 by Cabinet on 26 May 2025, and a certificate of financial implications as shown in Annex 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 of my detailed brief to Parliament respectively. Terms of conditions of the loan. The financing terms of the African Export-Import Bank loan are as follows. Loan amount, €270 million, tenor, 10 years, grace period, 3 years, base rate, 6 years, Eurobor, 2.151% as of 7th May 2025, margin 5.00 per annum, interest rate, base rate plus margin, placement fees 1.57, payable one-off upfront
1.75.
1.75 percentage. Commitment fees 1.0 percentage per annum.
1.2 per annum.
1.2 percentage. Not applicable if Government of Uganda draws down the entire loan amount within 90 days from the date of signature of the financing agreement. The all-in cost-effective interest rate for the facility is 7.33% based on the 6-month Eurobor rate of 2.151% as of the 7th May 2025. The terms of the EcoBank Uganda Limited and the Development Bank of Southern Africa Limited loan are as follows. Loan amount, €230 million, tenure 7 years for the commercial tranche, €130 million, and 10 years from the DFI tranche, 100 million. Grace period, 3 years for the DFI tranche and 3 years for the commercial tranche. Availability period, 90 days. Base rate, 6 months Eurobor, 2.151% as of 7th May 2025. Margin 5% per annum for the DFI tranche and 4.85% per annum for the commercial tranche. Interest rate, margin plus base rate for each tranche. Arrangement fees, 2.5% of the facility amount. Agency fee, €30,000 per annum. Commitment fees, 0.5% per annum, not applicable if Government of Uganda draws down the entire loan amount within 90 days from the date of signature of the financing agreement. Default interest, 1.5%. The all cost-effective interest rate for the two EcoBank facilities is 7.20% for the DFI tranche and 7.18% for the commercial tranche based on the 6-month Eurobor rate of 2.151% as of 7th May this year. Condition precedent to disbursement of the loan. The condition precedent to effectiveness and disbursement of the loan are highlighted on page 6 and 7 of the brief to Parliament. Justification of the loan, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the €270 million loan facility is to finance the financial year 24-25 budget as approved by Parliament on May 2024 to be sourced externally, while the additional euro...
May 2025. Yes, let's finish first, then I give you the shadow. I will give you the shadow.
I repeat, Right Honorable Speaker, and I'm just justifying now, the euro 270 million loan facility is to finance financial year 24-25 budget as approved by Parliament on May 2024 to be sourced externally, while the additional euro 230 million is to finance the supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 approved by Cabinet and later Parliament on the 12th of March 2025 for financial year 24-25. A copy of the supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 will be attached and marked as Annex 8 of my detailed brief to you. On and the current date situation of the country. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the loan will slightly increase our current date stock, as at the end of June 2024, the total public debt stock stood at $25.55 billion, increasing from $23.6 billion as at the end of 23. Of the total public debt stock, external debt constituted $14.59 billion, and domestic debt stood as $10.96 billion. Uganda's debt remains sustainable with a nominal value of public debt to GDP of 46.86% at the end of June 2024 compared to 47.40% at the end of June 2023. Honorable Speaker, I wish to lay on the floor of Parliament the brief to Parliament with the following attachments. 1. Cabinet Ministry 24 on the performance of the budget for expenditure for financial year 24-25. 2. Cabinet Minute 93 City 2025 on supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for financial year 24-25. 3. Letter from His Excellency the President providing clearance to the two loan dated 20th May 2025. 4. Resolution of Parliament for supplementary expenditure schedule number 3, certificate of financial implications. 6. Draft financing agreement for the euro 270 million to be provided by the African Bank. And lastly, draft financing agreement for the euro 230 million to be provided by EcoBank and the Development Bank of South Africa. I beg to lay.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, I wanted to find out the money we are borrowing is meant to...
For this running... Yes, she has asked me a question. This is not going to be financing the coming financial year. We have a lot of...
It is for us to finish the budget 2024-2025.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
And when is the financial year ending?
Well, if you give me the authority, this money will go out to the spenders.
Thank you.
Before the weekend comes.
I'm
asking for Let me explain carefully. Listen. Let's just listen to each other.
Honour members, let's listen to the minister.
There are expenditures now in the treasury which we need to pay. Yeah, with the scientific means these days. Yes, by the end of the weekend. Yes. You can go and check on the treasury.
So
you go.
if the money is for the current year, the minister was right that the money was appropriated in 2024. Yes, it is for the current budget.
Thank you.
To suspend Rule 162, paragraph 2, 3, and 4, to enable this House debate this matter and consider the motion to borrow without necessarily referring it to the Committee on National Economy. Madam Speaker, if my motion is supported, I can proceed to justify it.
Is the motion seconded? By Kanusu, by Okwiri, by Chamaswet, by Silwa Nekesa, on suspension of Rule 162 to allow the House debate on the loan without referring it to the Committee of National Economy.
Thank you,
Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, before my committee is one of the reports on our debt management. You are speaking to a minister who has undispersed money borrowed, 16 trillion. It is lying out there, borrowed, we are paying interest, this money, 16 trillion. It lies out there, borrowed.
Is it undispersed or unutilized?
I'm coming. That is money undispersed. We have 222 billion of Ugandan shillings in Bank of Uganda that is dispersed and unutilized. I've looked at both the Uganda shilling and the dollar account in the Bank of Uganda. Now, one of the reasons that the Auditor General is consistently advancing for this predicament is the way Parliament approves a borrowing. We approve borrowings, one, without taking all the necessary conditions to ensure that this money will be absorbed. And Parliament as an institution is indicted for not doing a good job. Right Honorable Speaker, this Minister of Finance, you see here, trying to borrow this amount of money, must first ascertain that he has capability to absorb the money, because the system of Uganda closes on the 15th of the month. So from now you have only 14 days, even if you borrow 2, the arrangement time for the money to be wired from wherever to Uganda's Bank of Uganda account can, unless he went, got the money, borrowed it, he had it here, and that's unconstitutional. And therefore he's coming to Parliament for post-mortem kind of approval. And he's stopped to borrow money without parliamentary approval. So the only way he can have money, the way he can borrow from international market, in the remaining days, he can't have time to arrange a borrowing. Unless he borrowed it, got it, and is coming here to say, please, rubber stamp. And now, if we are rubber stamping, that is unconstitutional.
Honourable Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker, as I conclude, the other thing that the minister, where he is indicted, this Honourable Kasaija, is on the President of Uganda clearly stated conditions under which a borrowing must be undertaken, and said 3 reasons only. 1, to support security needs of a country. 2, to support infrastructure development. 4, human capital development. He said no further borrowing, to borrow money to spend on recurrent expenditures, including wage. Is the president rescinding his position on this borrowing? Because I hear you say, and this parliament, that people's wages for June are not, you don't have money. The president said you can't borrow.
Who said that?
That's the argument I've been getting. I'm not the minister. Now, for general support, we want the minister to come here and say, this whole money, item by item, will go to defense, infrastructure, and human capital development. But generally, for budget expenditure, is recurrent. And for how long shall we borrow money to eat?
Budget expenditure is both recurrent and development.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. But borrowing can only be for development. So is this minister today a very serious gentleman?
Muzea, yes, serious gentleman.
Honorable Kivumbi, whether some of us here have done business, you can rear goats, but you need money. You can take a service or a good and this is what the government is undergoing. We have a number of pending invoices who has been traveling on the road between Mitiana to Mubende. Anybody? Is that road? You are there.
Honorable Zake is there. Honorable, Honorable Margaret.
Is that road comfortable? Yet there is a contractor. That's what you are telling you. Yes, I failed to pay him because I did not have the resources. So now the year is ending. The suppliers, the debtors are demanding for the money. So really, Honorable Kivumbi, it is not money which we have cham. No, this money is...
Actually, the contractor is on the road. He has been there on the road.
We need it to be, he has to be paid. And we do not want to carry it to the next financial year when the opportunity is available.
Thank you. Honorable Query, then government.
Of our roads and looking at pending projects that we really need to support government to access this money so that we can deliver service to the people of Uganda.
Thank you. Honorable members, there is the Kampala Mitiana Mubende Road. The contractor has been convinced to go back on road, though they've not paid, so they want to make payment on that contractor. If we are talking about that, and Zake can confirm, Honorable Zake can confirm that the contractor has been there for 1 week now. Honorable Sech.
Speaker, and I can understand the Honourable Minister for Finance, who is presenting this loan request. Right, Honourable Speaker, I wanted to be clear. This Parliament is not against this loan, but only that it is being brought on the eve of the new financial year. When it's late, right, Honourable Speaker, we are having in new conditions, as I was listening in to the Minister. The management fee, the agency fee, the commitment fee, the base tranche, the commercial tranche, and I think it is a problem for this House to approve such a huge loan on hoof. We are ready to support, but once you stampede Parliament at this last minute, who is to blame really? And we as people's representatives, to just sit by and we say, aye. on a matter that is critical. Yes, we want this infrastructure, but can you do us favor by letting us know so that we work together, so that we don't commit the country to such an arrangement? We are borrowing from EcoBank, a commercial bank, and we need to be careful about borrowing from a commercial bank. We are competing with the other Ugandans at commercial rates. As a country, I don't think we are moving in the proper way. Yes, it's true we want to pay off the pending expenditures, but as Parliament, we need to walk out with our heads high that we've done duty to the country. We have scrutinized and we have given our approval. But the way we are doing, and honorable colleague is suspending rules, etc., it seems we are not prepared as a country. So to me, right, Honorable Speaker, I'll give my approval, but can we be given exactly what it is? Can we unpack this loan? Can we consume the giving even their agency money? There are people there between who are ready to share this money. It is now a package, and people are in there already as agents to see how much they take out of this loan. And I think once government is borrowing, you can give the information.
You've taken over my seat.
Honorable Speaker, just information. When you see agency fees, then we need to be careful in borrowing. That means somebody out there is going to give money to Uganda currently now. He has it in the bag. Then he's like going to take over this loan. And that's a very expensive arrangement. So may the Honorable Shs2 give information. May he do us a favor to tell us the total cost of this loan. Take us through the agency fee, the commitment fee, and tell us at the end of the day what's the cost of this loan. Because that will help to know where we are doing, what we are doing and where we are going. Where you have involved in agency, it's another Amagoro kind of arrangement. And that is something that is so hard for a country to swallow. Tell us the total management fee for the whole arrangement. So Honorable Shs2, it is information to you.
Speaker, I just wish to give one fundamental information to this Parliament. Why are we coming now with this borrowing? There are basically two reasons why we are coming now when we are hardly 1 month to the end of the financial year. One is that we have had prolonged and protracted negotiations with the banks we are borrowing from in order for us to reach the terms and conditions read by the Minister. Two is that, Right Honorable Speaker, we approved Supplementary Schedule number 3 on 12th of March 2025 by this House. And part of this funding will also go into funding Supplementary Schedule number 3 that was approved by this House. I beg to give this information because all these are subject to the approval of Parliament. Thank you.
Needs to clarify when this loan request was supposed to be brought. When were you supposed to bring it? Because in my view, and when you look at the law, the PFMA, you're bringing it at the wrong time. It was actually supposed to be brought before us passing the next annual budget, before consolidating all the supplementary budgets that we did, and before us passing. The deadline was the 20th of May, which passed for us to consolidate.
That is the response that the government chief whip gave because of the protracted negotiation that they've gone through, which has taken all this long.
Yes, so us passing it right now, we're actually breaking the law as Parliament, passing it after consolidating the budget, the PFMA and the Constitution. You cross-check. Honorable Minister, maybe you do not have the PFMA with you, but we were supposed to pass it before the 20th of May, before us looking at and the Committee of Supply approving the next annual budget. The other issue of concern is about Supplementary Schedule number 3 that the government chief whip is justifying that it's going to cover. When I look at Supplementary Schedule number 3, there is actually only 61 billion shillings that is supposed to go to the Ministry of Works. And every time a supplementary schedule comes, it comes with its source of funding. Where is that money supposed to come from? So you coming at this time after us approving and passing, because when we pass the supplementary schedule number 3, we included the source where this money is going to come. Thirdly, it concerns the terms that we are getting this loan on. This is not a concessional loan, and majority of this money, over 90%, is going into consumption. Members are being convinced that it's going to do infrastructure, but when you look, 61 billion out of the over 1 trillion shillings, it cannot justify. Most of the money is going into consumption. So us borrowing at about 7.3% to consume is totally wrong, and I think the Honorable Minister knows this quite well.
Classify later on. Two things. One, we are having, as I said, pending invoices. Pending invoices. We raised this, the invoices were raised in the hope that would be able to have to get this money. Unfortunately, the lenders, they dragged their feet. They dragged their feet. If we had closed with them 2 months or 3 months behind, there would be no, I would not be standing here. Now, if we do not pass these loans, we are going to default. No, listen. Let me clarify. Let me again go to Mubende Road, because there are so many roads. If my colleague, the minister in charge of roads, would be here, he would tell you. Me, I'm telling you Mubende because Mubende leads me to my home. Yes. Now, money ran out of that project. Specifics we can give, but I will tell you that the trend itself. So, when the money got finished, the contractor laid down his weapons. Oh yeah. You can go and ask him. The contractor had started, oh my goodness.
Honorable members, please listen to the minister.
Have you gone on that road?
Listen to the minister.
Doesn't it move from Mitiana now, which is almost to Chiganda?
No, let's have respect for each other. No.
Because when you tell him to tell me that Kasaja is a liar, I get agitated. Tell me how I have lied. Madam Speaker, let him tell me how I have lied.
Way, you can get a contractor before getting the money. So when you say that the road is not going on because you don't have the money, it's not proper. You a liar. And I'm insisting on that. Because can you inform this house that you contracted a company to work on Mitiana Road without getting the loan? You first get the money, you pass the loan, then you go for the process of getting the contractor. So why are you a liar?
Honorable members, I want to refer you to Supplementary Schedule 2, which we passed in March, and in that resolution which was there, the money actually the minister is laboring to talk about was in the supplementary, which the 230, that was part of the money 230 euros. That's what we approved, that money. And that now goes back to what Honorable Government Chief Whip was saying, that they've been negotiating with the lender. The document is here. I had to retrieve it from the archives.
Right, Honorable Speaker, money for the road. This total borrowing, if you convert it in Ugandan shillings, is 2 trillion.
I'm not speaking about the money.
It's 2 trillion. Now, the Mitiana, which is being blackmailed on us, and you know there's a blackmail.
Honorable Chivumbi, I'm not speaking about the money of the road. What I am speaking about is the money that we approved in this house, where we said external borrowing euros 230 million. External borrowing, we approved it. So what the minister is coming now here is to say we have got the money. So the money, these are the terms. The document is here. Maybe you need to look at it.
Right, Honorable Speaker, approve a supplementary. We approve a funding, the other side. It's credit and expenditure. So if we approved money without the minister ascertaining exactly where he's going to get the money, and at this moment he comes in and tells you, I'm going to EcoBank, and he tells you there is an arranger, and he's telling you that we are being blackmailed on Mitiana Road. July is just 30 days off. Even if we don't do a contractor, you can finance it from July 1st.
Honorable,
So my point of view, right, Honorable Speaker, is that the issue where you are saying we approved the supplementary and approved a corresponding borrowing, external funding, and which is supposed to generate this money. Me, I'm asking the minister, first of all, the law does not permit you to put a contractor on the road without ascertaining funding. So what if we don't approve it? How could he have paid it? So he is operating outside the ambit of the law.
Honorable, when you look at the resolution of Parliament on supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for the financial year 2024-25, the external borrowing that we approved is part of the money that the minister is talking about. That is the 230 million euros. And the resolution is here, signed. But then what you need, Honorable Minister, what the House is raising, one, how did you take the contractors on road when you didn't have the money? But at the end of the day, it is you and me and everybody, the conditions on the road, that push finance to have these contractors on the road. Then two, Honorable, just to help the House, Honorable Masava, can you tell us the section that does not allow the minister to bring a loan, a loan request at this time to the House? Let's resolve things one by one. Honorable Chivumbi, let's resolve this one.
Let's resolve. Now right to the borrowing in the supplementary and permitted the minister to spend, to have money. Then what we are required right now to approve are terms and conditions.
That's what the minister is
borrowing.
asking for.
That's why I asked the minister here. One, tell us the cost of this loan. Tell us the terms
which he has
of
given,
this loan,
which he
and
has
you approve.
given.
Now, the terms and conditions approved, presented here, without attaching a cost, and I'm asking him very deliberately, tell us of the 2 trillion we are borrowing, how much of that money is going to pay for arrangement of this loan?
Speaker, that we expedite the motion moved by Honorable Baka on the question of suspension.
The motion of Honorable Baka was sorted out.
That one was
We
settled
suspended the rule. We are now looking at the terms, terms of the loan. The issue of borrowing is not an issue. We are looking at the terms.
Now that, Madam Speaker, that we have debated, we have heard from the Minister of Finance, we have heard from the opposition, we have heard from everybody. Let a question be put, Madam Speaker, on this matter, on this motion, so that we can vote on it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Is it seconded? Put a question, seconded by Okwiri, seconded by our Silas, by Government Chief Whip, by Silas, by Sanon, by Nekesa, by Samuel, by Segumire, by Ogwang, by the minute. Honorable members, physically we have 62 members, we have virtually 112. Honorable members, I put a question that the rule, I put a question that this House authorizes the government to borrow up to euros 270 million from Afrexim Bank and up to 230 million from Eco Bank and the Development Bank of South Africa Limited to finance the government of Uganda budget for financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. Guys have it.
Item 5 on the order by Minister on the state of roads and rampant road accidents.
Government ya Uganda cabinet erabika kati efunye ekizibu. Ensonga yo planning kati ejiremye. Otukati ono tugamba nti we tutandika ku ssaawa eno kuwa ssente olwaleero lwakuna essaawa zigenda mu 11 we tukuwa ssente ate ku weekend ssente zijja kuba zaatuuse dda ne zitandika n'okukola emirimu. Kitegeeza abantu bano bajjayo dda ssente naye bazze buzibu mu parliament kutuukiriza mukolo. Yo tukootya okubanga kati osaba looni ogenda kubanga ogijja mu Eco Bank eya Uganda ogijja nawali mu South Africa. Kati bo bwe batagaberera mateeka Ministry of Finance ekiseera yeetereze buli kaseera okujjanga neeyagala erinye ku parliament ng'egiyisaamu amaaso okutuuka okubanga ku ssaawa esembayo looni agireese atulaga abantu tebalina misaala, abantu ze ssente ze balina okukozesa, buli kimu kyekirina okukolebwa okuva ku looni eyo. Yeffe twafuuka Uganda nga tulina kubeerawo na kwewola kiki ekyatuukawo. Tujja tutya okubanga katukyayisa zi supplementary tuyisa zi loans ate okubanga n'omwaka gugenda kuggwako ogw'ebyensimbi nga ne budget ey'omwaka ogujja twagimaze dda. Abasajja bano abali mu finance nd'okutandika ddala ku Minister wa Finance beetereze balekeraawo okukozesanga parliament ebintu ebitasaanidde n'ebivumisa eggwanga Uganda. Kubanga tubasabye bayongere batulage line buziba ezo trillions 2 kyezigenda okukola omuntu atasobola kuvaayo mu bulangulukufu. Kati kitegeeza trillioni 2 ezo zetasobola kulindamuko omwezi gubulayo gumu gwokka ne tulyoka tulaba ate wa awali obuzibu nga tutandise omwaka omujja. Ekyo kye kitasobola kulinda trillioni 2 bweziti ne ziba nga ze zikuleese ojja osabe parliament ekukkirize weewole naye ate nga kiraga olina wootajjaayo mazima.